Hare Krishna. Welcome to Thursday's special association on folk life. For last 40 days, the cricketing world was glued on to the mobiles and TV, watching every match, seeing the screen, calculating which team will make to the knockout and who will win the World Cup. And eventually, the world champions, the Australians, won it for the sixth time, making it a big leap in the World Cup campaign. So, what are the life lessons? What is it for a Krishna conscious devotee? And from a person who is not into Krishna conscious, what is life lessons? I would, by and large, give the perspective from the both angles. Before we start, let us fold our hands and offer our prayers to Srila Prabhupada to make us understand this concept so that both devotees, non-devotees and in between can benefit from this talk. Here we go. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. First and foremost, our country's campaign, India's World campaign was wonderful. They didn't lose even a match until the final one. 1.4 billion people were hoping, praying. It was a talk of every Indian at office, in the college hours, in the examination hall, where not, even in the kitchen, even women folk took interest in watching cricket and following this World Cup campaign of India. After 8 years, we were hosting the World Cup, maybe 8 years or 9 years, maybe 12 years later, we are hosting. After 12 years, we are hosting the World Cup campaign in India. And India wanted to repeat the 2011 historics done by Mahendra Singh Dhoni to get the Indian team the World Cup. But the all hopes were dashed when in Narendra Modi Stadium, Cummins-led Australia deceived us, defeated quite remarkably and won the World Cup. What are the life lessons for us? First thing which come to my mind, there are two things in life. This is for both who are devotees and non-devotees. Just like the favorite game of most of our Indians is cricket. Similarly, life is also a game. But if I ask you this question, if life is a game like cricket, is wicket the game? No. Is the ball the game? No. Is the bat the game? No. Is the player the game? No. All of them put together, and when they form a rules and regulation and play according to that, then it becomes a game. Is it not? So life is also like that. It's part of everything. Now in the game of life, what are you? What's your role play? From this episode, whether in the game, who are you? The game of cricket, are you a player or are you an audience? Similarly, in the game of life, are you a player or are you an audience? Now, if you take the game of cricket, is the audience the main entity or is the player the main entity? Does audience have an impact on the game? What is the roles and responsibility of audience? What are the functionality of audience? What do they do? If we discuss that, audience cheer, audience rant out their feelings, audience abuse, audience sometimes troll, audience glorify, audience adore, audience clap. Correct? They encourage. They get disheartened, they get elated by the outcome of the game. But do they have any role in the outcome of the game per se. On the contrary, what is the function of the players? Players just play. Does he has any control over the outcome of the game? Not necessarily. He has to play, but he has no control over the game. If you take the example of New Zealand, 2015, 2019, and even 2023 World Cup, they lost miserably. Is it not? So the outcome of the game, even the South African nation, they are called chokers unfortunately, every World Cup campaign, they came at the crucial matches in semi-final and final, they lose. I don't know if they've reached final, but I'm just telling you. So the outcome is not under the hands of audience at any cost, that's for sure. They cannot influence the outcome, they cannot change the outcome by their antics, by their strategy. They may give encouragement and discouragement or troll a particular batsman or a fielder or a team per se based in which country they are playing. But by and large, their impact on the outcome of the game is hardly anything. Even the players, you will have best of the players in your team, you have the best of the bowlers, best of the fielders, the pitch in your favor. But not necessarily the outcome is always under you. The whole cricketing World Cups or T20 are a clear-cut evidence. In the last ball, there's a six and the outcome changes. Say for example, our own team, 10 consecutive matches or maybe 9 consecutive matches, they won without facing defeat or failure. Every department of the cricketing team of our country, the bowling, batting, fielding, or the captain led from the front, Rohit Sharma. But the crucial one, the final one, that was another bad day, they say. So basically, you may have the best teams in the world. You may have a best team in the world. You may have best bowlers, the top-notch, top 5 batsmen in the world. And your own home ground, where 130,000 are cheering for your win. The ground support, the pitch according to your choice and will. You wanted to bat. The batting was given to you by the Australians on your hand, into your hand. Everything, all the right marks were there. But what went on that day, 19th of November, is something which Indians will not forget for few years at least. Is it not? Because in India, cricket is like a religion. Players are adored like demigods or even God for that matter. Anything happens to cricketing world, anything happens to these stars, anything happens to the outcome of the game which India plays, that has lot of impact on the audience, especially the cricket loving nation, our country. So life is also like a cricketing game. So in your life, what you're playing, are you an audience or are you a player? Player plays the game. Outcome is anyways not in his hand, but at least he plays the game. In your life, are you the player? In your life, are you the player? Even materially, are you the player or you just audience? Audience means, say for example, उसने अच्छा नहीं खेला, उसको ऐसा खेलना था, क्या खेला? Put selfie, encourage the team, put on your status, abuse the players, abuse the umpire, abuse the politician who visited the team because of his presence. The India lost the match. Some politicians said they should have played in Lucknow. Someone said they should have instead of wearing the saffron color jersey, they should have wore the blue jersey even while practicing. समझ में आ रहा है? So they're like audience. They can't have any impact on the game. समझ में आ रहा है? Even the players, they will play, but at the end of that, the result is not in their hand. Correct, no? This whole, any match for that matter, any football match or any World Cup match, any cricket match for that matter, you can clearly understand. And those who have realized this, the legends, the great players, I'll show you a small video of Virat Kohli. We recently released a shot of him a couple of weeks ago, where he tells clearly, confesses. You can watch the video right now.
मैं उतना ही बोल सकता हूँ कि आप जब इतने समय तक खेलते हो, आप ऑनेस्टी से खेलते हो, देने वाला ऊपर वाला ही है, मतलब और मैं इसके आगे कुछ नहीं बोल सकता. बाकी आप हाथ पैर कितने भी मार लो, जब उसने देना है तभी देना है, और कोई कुछ भी नहीं कर सकता है इसके बारे में। तो मैं तो अपनी लाइफ ऐसे ही जीता हूँ, और जब तक खेल रहा हूँ, जब तक मैं यहाँ पे खेलने की वर्दी हूँ, मैं ऐसे ही खेलने वाला हूँ।
ठीक है? In this, he clearly tells that at the end of the day, no, he decides on what criteria someone goes for a duck, someone hits a century, is not at all in your control. That's why Krishna specifically mentions this in the 18th chapter. I would like to read that verse and we'll discuss further. 18th chapter, 13th and 14th verse, there are 5 factors of accomplishment of an action, where clearly Krishna says, Panchaitani Mahabaho Karnani Nibodame Sankhe Kritanti Proktani Siddhe Sarva Karmanam. He says, O mighty armed Arjuna, learn from me the 5 factors which bring about the accomplishment of all actions. Adhishtanam tata karta karanam cha pratak vidam vividascha pratak cheshta daivam chaivatra panchamam. He says, these are declared in Sankhya philosophy to be the place of action. Place of action plays a very important role. Say for example, place of actions, Narendra Modi Stadium. Our own stadium, 1.3 plus lakh people are cheering for your country. Place of action is perfect. The pitch you chose, you decided. The flat pitch, you decided. You picked it up. Second, the performer. Here the performers, many are there. 11. We had best of the batsmen, best of the bowler, Shami in the semi-final. It was Shami final. Took 7 wickets, leading wicket taker. We have a batsman who's a leading run getter. You have best fielders. Correct? The performers, they are performing with their best of the endeavors. The best batsman, the best bowler, the best fielder, leading from all front, the favorable circumstances, place of action. The senses, all their senses, the ears, the eyes, there were no hardly any injuries. We lost Hardik Pandya for some injury, but the other players were all in good form. Everyone was firing good, full throttle. Correct? No, someone was suffering from dengue. He also recovered at the right time. He also had century. Their dear and near ones were cheering. Their role models, including Sachin, was there in the stadium. The Prime Minister himself was in the stadium along with the Home Minister. And all their senses were working perfectly all right. No? The endeavor, and they put the highest endeavor. They made sure last breath is put to get India the cup. They left no stone unturned to make sure they win the World Cup. They ticked all the check boxes. Of course, people may say, ऐसा कर सकते हैं, ऐसा कर सकते हैं, वैसा कर सकते थे. But that gone so gone. If you are put in that position, you will come to know. Of course, people can have the right to comment. But those who go through it, the place, they know how it is. And in spite of all these things, they couldn't be successful. And fifth factor, Krishna tells in the Gita, that ultimately the super soul. You may have all these 4 factors. You may have best place of action, you may have best performers, all your senses are firing full throttle, and you have the best endeavor put across in the entire 40 days of campaign. You have the best team on paper, but on one that day, things didn't turn up the way you expected, because the Panchamam Daivam didn't sanction. The Lord is the ultimate cause. Now, why would Lord interfere in the case of our cricket match? What is he up to do? Yes, Lord doesn't interfere. Lord interferes in the devotee's case. When Arjuna is fighting, when it is cause for dharma, Lord interferes. Otherwise, for all such cases, who interferes? Law of karma interferes. Now, on what basis that one team wins and another team loses? Krishna conscious perspective, real perspective for all non-devotees and devotees who are watching this. Law of karma. The combined karma of the 11 players of the country who is representing, combined to the combined karma of the other team which is representing, whose karma is bhari, who has the package written, they will get it. It doesn't matter whether you work hard or don't work hard, in that sense, real sense. Of course, it doesn't mean that you just simply sit, don't go to the match and don't even play at all. Yes, you will be forced based on your karma to perform. But at the end of the day, based on the combined karma of the team and the country which is representing, the person will be victorious or not victorious. The Lord will interfere only when you become devotee, when you are of the type of Arjuna. So these are the 5 factors. People don't know about these 5 factors. If India would have won the World Cup, if you asked all those players, how did you do it? What was the secret of success? The interviews would be going on. Everybody would be going gaga about their performance. Until the semi-final, everyone was doing so. But the final match, everyone saw a different scene altogether. They would say, I used to work for 10 hours. I used to bowl in the nets. I would go out and practice in the nets. Endeavors. The place of action, Narendra Modi Stadium, Wankhede Stadium, Eden Gardens, Lucknow, Dharmashala, Bangalore or Hyderabad or Chennai, whichever city, it's our own stadium, our own place of action. And the senses of all the players are intact. They're healthy, they're hale, their families with them, the support is with them, the buzz is going on. But ultimately, the Lord doesn't sanction, or the karma doesn't sanction. It doesn't happen. So this is very, very important to know. We should understand that we are not the doers. There are many, many factors are responsible for an accomplishment of an action, and the result is completely not at all depend on our endeavors. Even the 4 things what we are supposed to do is not at all not in our control. Say Hardik Pandya was going good guns, but he met with an injury and he was ruled out. Correct? Rohit was firing up and he had hit a 6, he had hit a 4, and next ball he could have just but that was a brilliant catch. Correct? So many things are there. You had a top batsman in the world who was there. The best fielders are there. But on that particular day, based on the karma, the victory or defeat is decided. So we all should understand, whether you're an engineer, doctor or any metal working for any under thing. So there are certain things which is in your influence. There are certain things which is beyond your influence, are in your concern. Understanding the difference, what you can change, what you cannot change, and understanding the difference is very imperative. And Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says how these things happen. This book of knowledge is giving all the details how things work. And when we refer this knowledge, now after the defeat, this is another life lesson. It pains. One of our folk boys said, Prabhu, India match haar gaya. बहुत दुख हो रहा है. I'm feeling pain. I'm feeling like crying. India was supposed to win this match. We lost it. Now the pain of India's defeat is felt by that boy. Now why is he feeling the pain? He has nothing to lose. He didn't play. He didn't bet. What is the loss in his case? Because he's attached to the team, he's attached to the victory or defeat of the team. Anything happens to the team or the player affects him. Attachment is the root cause of all difficulties in the world. If you're attached to one particular player and if he doesn't perform, so before this World Cup tenure or even before that, say for 1,000 days, Virat Kohli had no century. His fans were worrying. For 15 years he's playing IPL. No, his team doesn't win. RCB has not won in IPL till now. He knows, he confessed that. There's a video where he says, it's not in my control. I've been playing, giving my best of. He had the best of the pitches, best of the endeavor. All senses are working together and all his team is working hard. But not even a single title till date. So basically we should understand that there are many factors which we cannot do anything. People think, I worked hard, I studied hard. It was my hard work. My mother supported me, my coach supported me. It was right materials. IAS toppers, school toppers, IIT toppers. All them, when you interview them, these are the factors which they are mentioning. They completely forget the super soul or the karma. Even if it is their karma, if it's their package, unless the Lord sanctions, you will not get it. So there are people like Arjuna or devotees who recognize the Lord. Even he was puffed up. at the end of the day, the Pandavas were really, in that sense, arrogant. They were thinking that they did the whole massacre. They were victorious because of their individual chivalry. Arjuna was telling, because of my Gandiva, because of my bowmanship, I could defeat the most important Atirthis and Maharathis, and we could win the war. Bhima was telling, it is me who killed the 100 Kauravas. They are the one who is the actual culprit, enemies. Rest of them are chutkus. Yudhishthira was telling, was my guidance, my leadership which meant this happened. When Arjuna, when Pandavas were telling and boasting about their individual capabilities and how they won the war, how their endeavors resulted in the victory of the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna was smiling. So just to make them understand who was the actual one who caused the victory for them, he took them up a hill, and there was barbaric, most of you know the story, and he said, he was asked, how did you watch the war? How was it happening? He said, I couldn't see anything. I just saw Sudarshana chopping everyone's head. That's all, nothing else. So then they realized, I am the ability in the man, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. So it's very important for us to understand all these spiritual secrets, reality, truth. Otherwise, we'll give undue importance. This is the first thing which we should understand. Again, 2.4 from the famous verse in the Bhagavad Gita, which is overly abused, most abused verse in the Bhagavad Gita by the Mayavadis and the misinterpreters. Karmanye vadikaraste ma phaleshu kajatana. You have a right to perform your duty, but you are not entitled for the fruits of your action. Never consider yourself to the cause of the result, and never be not attached for not doing your duty. You have to be doing your duty, but never be attached to the results. You're not entitled for the results. Now, if you're attached for the results, you get what you wanted, you become greedy, you become lusty. And if you don't get it, you become depressed, you become demoralized. The cricketers, Rahul tweeted today, I'm not able to overcome, still it hurts. Unable to forget. Many cricketers tweeting themselves, expressing their emotions on the X platform. It's a reality. That's what Krishna says. When you perform without expecting the result and offering the result to him, then you'll not be affected by the outcome of the result. Somebody who's not affected by the outcome of the result, he'll follow the process, he'll go through the process. He'll not be affected by it. The victory or loss was not affected by fame and infame is not affected. Distress or happiness is not affected. Krishna says, is very dear to me. Equilibrium we should maintain. Sometimes few leaders like Dhoni, Mr. Cool Captain, he maintains that. And one of his ability, there's a link up there here, where I spoke about his traits, how the whole country is missing his leadership abilities, his ability to finish off matches, his ability to keep cool at the right moment. Of course, he also had the package. It's not his only endeavors. He also agrees to that point. So these are the few points which I wanted to share. The result is not in your hands. Result is beyond. You are only endeavor. That also endeavor, if your body doesn't support you, your senses doesn't support you, the place of action is not proper, even that is not in your control. And what to speak of the result? At the end of the Panchamam Daivam, the Lord will interfere when you become devotee. And Lord will decide. Lord had his own set of devotees killed. Even in the Mahabharata battle, he wanted 5 heroes of the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Pandavas, to survive. And everyone was killed in the battle, including the Pandava side. So he is the creator, he is the director, he is the choreographer. He decides everything for his devotee's case. And for non-devotee's case, law of karma takes into place. These are very imperative. Our knowledge is mentioned in the Gita. We should understand this. Now, because we are attached to the outcome, India has to win. That folk boy was unhappy. He was doing that service, but as he's feeling sorry because he was happy, hoping, wishing, willing, desiring, hankering that India should win. When India didn't win, he's morose. Personally, nothing has happened to him, but a thing or a team or a person who didn't perform based on his action, based on his endeavors, our happiness and distress is decided. Our mood is decided. We have given the remote control to the person whom we are attached to, team whom we are attached to, circumstances we are attached to. That's why we are controlled, manipulated, regulated. Samajh mein aa raha hai? Now, BCCI makes close to 1.5 billion surplus in 5 years. Government revealed that $919 million as income for BCCI, of which $370 million were expenditures. And total income tax paid by the BCCI, 1,159 crore. Australia won $4.3 million. India could win $2.3 million, being the runners-up. And it boosted the Indian economy, $2.6 billion. Now you see, the whole ad industry is working for that 10-second slot, 5-second slot. And we who watch those matches whole 10 hours, 12 hours, they influence us. The ads which run away, the cold drinks, the junk foods, the unwanted consumerism which is shown, it is consumed by us. Whenever, even though we don't want that, we'll go and purchase that mobile, purchase that drink, purchase that gadget. We are influenced, we are brainwashed. We are made to think and feel in a certain way. And the hero, the batsman, the bowler whom we adore, whatever he endorses, whether it's good for me, bad for me, I do it. Dream 11 पे team बनाएंगे हम, gambling करेंगे, the one of the 4 pillars of dharma is broken. Pepsi, cola पिएंगे, intoxication, we get inspired. You lose your heart to person whom you hear, whom you watch. What junk process, junk out. Even materially, forget about spiritual, even materially speaking, what did you achieve watching the match? Entertainment. Uske baad, you had your examination, you had your night sleep, you had your stress. Originally, the Englishmen, they found cricket to be a stress buster. Among their fight, among their busy schedule, they want to take out and relax themselves. That was gentleman's game. Today, playing cricket is stressful. The cricketers don't know they will be performing well or not because of the high stress. Because next day, next match, they will not be there. Based on their performance, they'll be through. They'll be scrutinized by the whole world, whole country, and the selectors will be behind them. Ashwin was shortlisted for the team. Only one match he could play. Hardik Pandya was a turning point. He couldn't play after certain matches. There's a lot of uncertainty. There are injuries. There are worthy players who would have been shortlisted, but only 11 can make it. Only 11 can make it. There are players better than those who are there in 11, but only 11 can make it. Just see law of karma, how it plays the role. So all these things are few things which I wanted to share. And if you see the gambling aspect, people bet, abhi chakka marega, abhi chauka marega. And betting world, how many crores people lose. And because of that greed of getting more money, they put in more money. Money laundering happens. Terrorist activities happen because of this money. Correct? So many such, sometimes matches are even fixed. We don't know. Of course, we can say like that, it may not be fixed. There's an example in the earlier cricketing matches. It's a reality. We got people arrested. Bookies been booked. Pakistan, Australia, cheating sandpapers to win. The kick of winning is so high, the players are ready to do anything. Even sandpapers are used to scrub the famous scandal of Steve Smith in between Australia and South Africa match. They were banned. Warner and Steve Smith. Greed takes over, lust takes over, and you think you're the champions. That's why Krishna says, when you go through all these ups and downs, even before Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, he told this one principle. Matra spashastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkada agama paina anityascha tam titikshasva bharata. You should tolerate. Urges will come, influence will come, people will be going gaga about you, there will be allurements. When Virat enters, when Sachin enters, Sachin, Kohli, he has to keep his calm, keep his nerve. He could play to the audience, play to the stadiums, but he has to control his emotion, control his cricketing skill, focus on the ball, work for the team. In the same way, world will throw us a lot of allurements. Mobile is such allurement. People are such allurement. All such distraction like World Cup and movies and OTTs. So many unwanted things which comes up once in a while or regularly to us. All things will distract us. But if you have to be focused, Ekehe Kurunandana, Bahushakaya Anantasya Buddhayo Avavasayana, if your focus is multifaceted, you'll not be able to achieve what you want to achieve. You should be focused on one thing, and that one thing for devotees should be the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, hearing. That is the greatest tapasya. 100% I'm not endorsing cricket, because the time and energy we spend watching that cricket should be utilized for higher purpose in life, goal in life. Even if you are wanting, say for those who are watching, just get to know who won, who lost. ठीक है, India हार गया, India जीत गया, okay, ठीक है, maybe scores you can see after the match. Over, no. Why you have to watch the whole thing? Just ball, just bat, and the wicket, and 11 players here and there playing, and we get elated. 4, 6. Whole our emotions are drawn towards it. When Virat Kohli enters, Kohli, Kohli, we adore him like out of the world person. So all those finer emotions, glorifying, adoring a hero of a match, hero of making him a celebrity, making him a demigod. In that sense, all those emotions are actually originally meant for the Supreme Lord Krishna. When we hear his heroic pastimes, we don't have those emotions, because already we are giving to some Sachin, some Kohli, some Shahrukh. They're all mortal beings. And remember this principle in the Bhagavad Gita, which is eternal, which is going to happen. What is that? Yam yam smaran bhavan tichantante kalevaram tam tam eveti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavita. Law of last thought. Whatever state of being you remember at the time of death, that state you attain without fail. And if your state of consciousness is not remembering Krishna, you have to take birth again to fulfill that desire. After the match, when people got to know that India has lost the match, people committed suicide. 3-4 cases are like that. They couldn't bear the pain of India losing the match. They would have spent crores of rupees or lakhs of rupees or thousands of rupees in bet, or because of the sheer attachment for the victory of India, because they were damn sure that whole cricketing world expecting it's going to be India all the way. But when India lost, the pain was so severe that he committed, so he gave up his most valuable human form of life. People don't know what is the importance of getting this human form of life. They're just wasting for losing of a cricket match. Just imagine the craze. This is what we have to understand. More you get attached, now he remembers the pain of India and he takes birth. With that consciousness, you're again in the womb of the mother, 9 months total. Again, life continues. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi, Dukkha, Dosha, Darshanam. With this valuable human form of life, you should understand the game of life is with 4 difficulties. These 4 difficulties I had to bat out. And that can be batted out by taking up Krishna consciousness seriously, by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This can be countered by following the 4 regulative principles. No intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling, no meat eating. This cricketing world encourages us to do all these things by watching this thing, gambling, by purchasing those products which is endorsed by these people. And because you have to be athlete, you have to consume non-veg, all these ideologies it's a consumerism world. Body is meant for attaining love of Godhead, and all these are distraction for that cause. Accept things which are favorable and reject things which are unfavorable. Those who are in devotional service, and those who are non-devotees just want to hear, just like these cricketers keep their calm, work on regularly, depending on the Lord. The same way we should also lead our lives. Mam anusmari yuddhacha, think of me and fight. Virat Kohli once said, I'm not the puja part type. Do you think I'm puja part type? But when he went through the distress, he was thinking he was hitting century, he was making runs. When the lean period of 2 years or 3 years where he was hardly could hit century, he went to seek the spiritual guidance, spiritual mentorship. Definitely would have done some meditation, definitely would have chanted some mantras. He became vegetarian. Vegan he follows. See, it helped him to overcome the problem with his cervical pain. He improved his health, his prowess. And he realized that nothing is in your hand. The same Virat Kohli, in last 2 balls, he hit sixes, short of the century. The same Virat Kohli took so many dot balls on the final, the most important day. Same bat, same Virat Kohli, same cricket stadium, same team, 130 crore, 140 crore people support. Just like Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he was the hero, he was warrior, he was a hot throb. Everyone was adoring him. But the same Arjuna, minus Krishna, he was defeated by cowherd man. He was telling the same thing. I got the same Gandiva, it's the same Arjuna, the giver of arrows. But without Krishna's blessing, it's of no use. I'm defeated by cowherd man. All those things which Arjuna had, he understood it was given by the Lord. So when we have this understanding, we'll be sober, we'll not be affected. Just like Prabhupada prayers in Jaladuta, I am a puppet in your hands. If you want me, let it happen. If you don't want me, let it not happen. I'm a puppet in your hands. Make me dance the way you want me to dance. Karishye vachanam tava. Arjuna tells, I'll do exactly whatever you want me to do it. That's complete surrender. When we depend on the Lord, follow His instruction, follow His instruction of His bona fide representatives and spiritual authorities, then we'll touch the path. Victory or loss is not in our hand. What is in our hand? I'll chant Hare Krishna attentively. Thoughts will come, will not come. That is not in my hand. But I should focus on the process of hearing the chanting. Then with the kripa of Nama Prabhu, we'll be able to tread the path of pure chanting. And then we'll have a consciousness of Krishna. Then any moment, doesn't matter which work we are in, we'll be able to remember Krishna at the time of death, because death can strike any moment. And we should be very careful, and we should not be audience in life. We should play by chanting 16 rounds, play by following the 4-letter principles, play by hearing Srila Prabhupada books, reading Prabhupada books, hearing Srila Prabhupada lecture, doing practical devotional service. This will transform our consciousness. This will help our build our consciousness. And the amount of time we have wasted in that sense. Even if India would have won, does it would make any difference to your life? I'm asking you, even if India would won the match, does it would make any difference to your life? Janma, Mrityu, Vajaravadi will not stop. Your Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, Adidevika Klesha will not stop. Forget about all these things. Your exams you have to write, you have to go to office, you have to slog. Just see. Time, even one moment gone, even if you're ready to pay 1,000 gold coins, it will not come back. I'm talking about not about your virtual currency or dollars. I'm talking about real wealth, gold coins. One moment will not come back. 23rd November, 9 o'clock, gone means gone forever, for good. It will never come back. Such a valuable time in the human form of life, taking human birth, coming to Krishna consciousness, still we are not utilizing it the proper way. That is sheer waste of time. And even forget about spiritual thing, or even materially also, you have certain goals, you have certain aspirations, you're an engineer, you're a doctor, you're a student. How much valuable time is wasted just to discuss, just to watch all these things, just to adore. 12 hours per day. Just imagine. And whatever you focus upon, that becomes bigger. Indians focused upon cricket. Doordarshan whole day it was showing 5 days test match. We are born and brought up watching all this only cricket match. Doordarshan was the only channel. Now thanks to the IPL, even more fun. And because of so much investment in this line, it is becoming greater and greater, bigger and bigger. So anything you focus, that becomes bigger. Now what should be your and my focus, which will have real return of investment? That is the focus on hearing Hare Krishna Mahamantra, reading Srila Prabhupada books. That will have ultimate return on investment, wherein we don't have to take birth again, where we'll have wonderful joy and happiness in association of Krishna. We wanted happiness, we wanted bliss, but when India lost, gone. And even if India would have won, after 2011 we won no match, we won the World Cup. Why are we not happy now? So it has a beginning, it has an end. That is the nature of material happiness. On the contrary, spiritual happiness, it has no end. Brahma Sokyam Tvanantam. And you hi sansparshaja boga dukha yona evate. Any happiness with sense and the sense object is a source of all miseries. All miseries. These are the few things which I wanted to share. Of course, the great endeavors of individual like Virat Kohli, leading from the front, persevering, hitting 3 centuries. We should also learn from them how determined they are, how disciplined they are, how hardworking they are, and how they understand that beyond their endeavors, there's something beyond. That's why people, they look at the sky when they get century, they enter the ground, touching the ground. They understand there are higher energy. They may not appreciate God directly. They may be atheist number one, or they may be calling themselves modern and pro or whatever. At the end of the day, they all feel that beyond these things, there is a supreme almighty Lord. Sachin, for example, he would thank the Lord after every century. All of them had some belief systems. And those who are not believing eventually will understand when the farm goes for a toss. That's why all these things happen. So we should understand these principles, what Krishna is teaching us. And life is such a wonderful game which we are put into it. If you make the captain, Srila Prabhupada, and follow his instruction, be in his team and follow his disciples, so we'll be able to win the game of life, and by eventually become Krishna conscious and go back home, back to Garrett. So this is what I wanted to share from these things. So please don't put your life and soul into watching such mundane cricket matches. If you are watching it, learn life lessons like this. If you are not watching, I would recommend not to watch. Put that endeavor for your own personal growth, even mentally for that matter. Or even apart from mentally, if you're somebody's Krishna consciousness or wanting to be Krishna, wanting to know the real purpose and goal of life, to be really happy, matches, cricket, or movies, or lust, or pleasures will not make us really happy, because we are Atma. We are part and parcel of Krishna. We are not the body. Anything which gives pleasure to body and mind has a limitation, has a lacuna, has a shortcoming, because we are Atmas. We are part and parcel of the Krishna, supreme absolute truth. We are his anshas. Only and only when we associate with him, get connected with him, participate in his enjoyment, we'll get real enjoyment, we'll get real entertainment, we'll be in real bliss. For that, human life is meant for that purpose. Perfection of human life is done only when we pursue that. Otherwise, my life is going to be miserable, because Krishna says in the Gita, Dukhalayam, Dukha alayam. Dukha alayam mein kya milega? Dukhi milega, and it's temporary. So all those folks who are watching this, use your energy, time, value for higher things in life, not for the lower pale things. Okay, with this I stop. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.